And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Kofi B podcast. I'm your host with the most, Kofi B, Kofi Boache. Listen, be sure to add me on all social media platforms at Kofi B Music, www.kofibmusic.com. That's where you can get all the additional updates and information of everything that's going on my end. But this is not about me right now because I have a very, very special guest joining me, man. You may have seen her at this point on American Idol. You may have seen her on Instagram. You may have heard her music. You may have seen her music videos. But, man, I've known her for quite some time, man, and she's a really good friend of mine. So, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the amazing Serrin Joy on the podcast. What's up?
Hi.
How are you?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. We just knocked out a video.
Yeah.
That's going to be out pretty soon. I don't know if it's, at this time, it might already be out. I don't know when this video is going up, but they should like it if it's out. Like
right.
It's out. Talk to me, man, a little bit about the journey that you've been on. I mean, I've known you for quite some time.
Yeah.
We grew up together.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what was it like? We were in ballet class together.
In ballet, and I was 3 and he was 5.
That's crazy. Yes. That's crazy. I've known you for some time. How old are you now?
I'm 19.
You old. No,
bye.
kidding. Oh, man. But at the age of 19 and seeing your journey, I mean, talk to me about how you've gotten to this point. What's the upbringing and all that?
Oh, wow. Okay, so, I mean, I come from a musical family. My dad, he's in the gospel industry. He started the Akron City Family Mass Choir. Yeah, and so he is an established gospel musician, gospel producer, and he is over the men's division at the Gospel Music Workshop of America.
There you go.
Right. So, and then my mom, she's a classically trained pianist, and she is my manager at the moment.
Nice.
And so they raised me and all my siblings. I'm the oldest of 5, and they raised us all to be involved in music. So we all sing, we all play instruments, and we all do all stuff like that. And so, I mean, as I got into high school, I began to realize one night what I wanted to do. I began to realize, sorry, I remember when I was a junior, and I had this, I almost want to say it was like a vision, and I knew that I wanted to one day have my music and perform it in front of a crowd full of supporters. And so I saw that, and I immediately went downstairs into the studio, and I recorded my first audio cover. And after that, I kind of just was like on a roll because I looked up to people like you and other artists. No, really though. And other artists that were in the city. And what I would do, I would tag as many people as I could on Facebook, and I would go on Instagram, and I started to post my videos and hashtag everywhere. So I would be seen everywhere. And from then, I just realized how happy it made me feel, and I haven't stopped since then. And here I am.
So you talk about growing up in a musical family.
Yeah.
What was that like for you, like every day? What's your day-to-day growing up at home, music all around you, your dad, your mom? Like, what's that like for you?
I mean, growing up around music, per se, I mean, it has its perks. I learn a lot. I get used to being around what I love, you know. But, I mean, other than that, I think the most positive thing that has come from it is that it's brought my family incredibly close.
That's what's up.
We're incredibly close because of music and because of other things, too. Like, when you get to know us, we're all pretty much the same person. But, I don't know, it's brought us closer.
That's super cool, though.
Yeah.
I mean, so looking at your journey, and you said you started, like, taking it seriously at 16.
Yeah, 15, 16.
15, 16.
Yeah.
You're 19 now.
Yeah.
You've done a ton at that point. Like, what clicked for you from a standpoint of now? I mean, you were doing covers at one point. Now you're writing music. You're doing your own thing, and you're actually, like, really good at it.
Thanks.
So, like, so how did you manage to hone your talent, hone your skills? What was that process like for you in high school? What were the, like, obstacles and stuff, and how'd you overcome that?
So, actually, I've always been writing. I've been writing since I was 7 years old.
Music or just
No,
anything?
I started off writing poetry, actually.
Okay.
And so what would happen is I went to this school called Akron Montessori, and they would have I think it was the Friday at the end of the month, they would have a poetry reading. And so they would have all the kids, and they would all be writing poetry. But I would be the only one. For some reason, I always wrote a song instead of poetry. And they would have me perform mine last. And I remember being in, like, 3rd grade, and I would be up at 2 in the morning, and I would hear a whole track in my head, an entire track, like no keys are around me, but I would hear it. And I would write. I had a journal that my mom got me, and I would write lyrics. And so I always wrote. But can you remind me of your question? I don't want to.
No, I'm talking about like the obstacles and the things. I mean,
Yeah.
that you had. So starting off writing early, which is incredible.
Yeah.
In your journey now,
Mm-hmm.
were there obstacles to for you getting to this point? I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like with every rise that you
Yeah.
have, there's some type of moment where it's like, man, is this really for me? And
Oh,
how'd you
definitely.
overcome that?
I think the obstacle that I faced was the people I was surrounding myself with at the beginning of high school. They weren't all very supportive towards that. And so I, I overcame that by just keeping at what I love to do and keeping at what I'm doing now. And so I would say that was my first obstacle. My second obstacle was getting comfortable writing about stuff that is going on in my life. Because, with the gospel industry, parents and stuff like that, you can sometimes, how do I put this? You can sometimes try to give yourself off like you're this perfect person when you're not. And so when I started to put out music that had lyrics that I was relating to, it was everything to me to find out that other people are feeling the same way as me and that we're not all perfect people. And so that was probably my second obstacle that I overcame.
So we're looking ahead now, like to this new journey that you're on with American Idol. Now, at the time of filming this, we can't contractually talk
Right.
about everything.
Right.
But I just kind of want to know what the feeling was when you first initially got like called about American
Yeah.
Idol. Like, how was that moment? And what was that moment for you?
Yeah. It was a shock because it was in the middle of a pandemic. And so I had taken at that point I had taken a couple months off of college. And I remember setting this goal for myself that through the midst of a pandemic, I was still going to get booked. Like, I'm not in school. I'm learning to get booked. So I'm out of school now, so I should be applying what I learned to get booked. So when I got the call, I was also auditioning for The Voice and making the band at the same time. And I told myself, Serrin, we're going to book one of these shows. Well, like, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm going to book one of those. And so getting that call, the feeling was just like, wow. Like, all I could think was like, God, what do you have in store for me?
How did it work though? I mean, how'd that all happen for you?
I mean, I wish I could speak on everything on that. But I will say that I did sing over Zoom for the producers, and then they liked me, and then I sang for the executive, and she liked me. And they tell you, like, yes, you got in, but you never know for sure if you're going to actually go until they give you that, like, confirmation email. And they sent me the email, and they were like, yeah, we want you to come out to San Diego in 3 weeks.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Like, everything paid for, flight, food, all that's taken care of.
What did you learn from that experience? Like going to be like that? I mean, essentially, I mean, you're in San Diego.
Yeah.
You're auditioning, and I mean the whole vibe. I mean, you're meeting Katy
Yeah.
Perry, Luke Bryan, Lionel
Richie.
Richie. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
People we grew up listening to.
Yeah.
Like what was that? What were the emotions for you at least?
I wish I could really pinpoint it. It felt unreal. It felt like a dream. One thing I'll do is whenever I'm performing anywhere, I take off my glasses so that I can't see anybody because it helps me not be nervous.
Okay.
So when I went into the room, I didn't have my glasses on. So I could see them, but I couldn't see their faces. And I just remember, like, thinking to myself, I hope I'm looking at the right person, for one. And
Right.
for two, it was like, oh my God, like, I've dreamt of what this would be like, and I'm here. And it's one thing to see it on TV and to see the finished product, but to actually be in the room and to have the producers with the camera circling around your head, seeing how many people goes into the behind the scenes, that was essentially what was going through my mind. Like, I didn't realize how much went into behind the scenes to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for somebody like yourself, right,
Yes.
that it has a platform right now that's growing, and you're constantly having people that are looking at you. Even younger people are
Yeah.
inspired by what you're doing. There's a lot of people that are looking up to you right now too.
Yeah.
What's some advice that you would give to those young people, or even just people in general that are looking at your journey?
Well, that's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I would say, in summary, do what makes you happy, because whether you're doing well, whether you're doing bad, people are going to say something regardless. So do what makes you happy. I would also say that closed mouths don't get fed. If you want something, go for it. If you have to make the hashtag, make the hashtag. If you have to tag people, tag people. If you have to make your caption, tag this person, make your caption, tag this person, and don't worry about how you look. Closed mouths don't get fed. So those are two things I
That's
would
a
say.
message right there. That's a
Yeah,
message.
that's what I would say.
Just in closing, what can people expect from you next?
Oh, God.
You've done so much right now, American
Yeah.
Idol. I mean, so much
The
more.
Broadway.
I mean,
Yeah.
what else can they expect from you? What's next for Serrin Joy?
You know what? What's next for Serrin Joy is excellence.
Mm,
What's next for Serrin Joy? Serrin Joy doesn't even know what's next for Serrin Joy.
that's what's up.
Because a year ago today, Serrin Joy, why am I speaking in third person? A year ago today,
I
I
don't
didn't
know.
see myself on American Idol, and I didn't see myself doing Women of Color on Broadway, and I didn't see myself having 6,000 listeners a month on Spotify in the first 4 months of releasing my music. I didn't see myself doing a lot. Um, but I can say that I see success, and I see excellence, and I see new projects and new things.
That's what's up. I'm happy for you.
Thank
For
you.
knowing you for so long, or as long as I've known you, seeing your journey now,
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier
I
for you.
appreciate that.
You're amazing. You're an amazingly talented person, and the sky is not even the limit for what you're about to do. I can already see it.
Thank you.
What's your Instagram, your Twitter, all that stuff, man?
You can find me everywhere. That's Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Serrin Joy Music, and you can find me on YouTube at Serrin Joy.
Appreciate it, Serrin. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Take two.
Are we recording, Kev? Start it over. Listen, go ahead. Take what is this? I'm gonna use that too. Ready? Yeah. Y'all ready? I'm ready. I was born ready. Come on.